Are you ready to burn some rubber? Welcome to the new DTM season 2024. We are here in Oschersleben. Yesterday we had a spectacular race, and today it's going to be just as exciting, that I'm sure of. And as you can see, we've got full house, perfect sunshine, and the man who's starting in pole position today is Mirko Bortolotti. Mirko, yesterday from P2 to second place, today from pole position. How about taking the win home?
Yeah, that's the target, of course. I mean, we've had a great start to the day with a great lap in quali, which puts us on the best place possible to start the race. We know it's tough to overtake, but not impossible, as we've seen yesterday, and a lot can happen, as we've seen yesterday as well. So, yeah, for now, I'm just happy with the starting position, but we are well aware that it will be, tough work this afternoon if we want to take it home.
All right, and the atmosphere here, we were just talking about it, Oschersleben. I mean, so many spectators. How is that?
It's great. It's amazing to have a full house once again here. A lot of fans, you know. The atmosphere, the crowd is amazing. So it's great to be back, to start the season after a long winter break, and with the best starting position as well. So what can I ask more?
Exactly. Well, best of luck. Thank you so much, Mirko. And yeah, I mean, perfect atmosphere. It's full 40 years of DTM. I mean, it's quite a spectacular season. And the man who's actually in P2 is Luca Stolz, who's already sitting here all ready for the interview. Luca, how are you doing? You've got a smile on your face. We're talking about it in qualifying. Haven't seen you smile that lot recently, but hopefully today we're going to see a very, very big smile on the podium after the race. But till then, it's a long way to go, right?
Yeah, first it's 1 hour of racing ahead of us. No, really looking forward. It's always good here in Oschersleben if you start in front, so this would help for sure. And then, yeah, I'm just going to see where we end up. But yeah, we'll talk to Mirko a bit, and then we see.
All right. Hopefully we'll see you smile up there. Have a fantastic race. It's a long way till there. And the man who managed to win yesterday was Jack Aitken. There he is already. And he looks relaxed as always. I mean, he really is a relaxed guy. So let's see if he's going to be at the end of the race, because now it's a long time. Starting in P3, you won yesterday. It was a fantastic day. Today the car's a bit heavier. Starting in P3, what does your gut feeling say? Is it going to be a good race?
Yeah, I think so. We know that overtaking is going to be really challenging. But to be honest, of the top 5, I have no idea who's going to have the best pace. You know, me and Mirko both have a bit of success ballast. Luca looks like he's doing a really good job, and his car is clean on weights. So, yeah, it will be an interesting one, and the pit stops will be crucial, I would say.
Obviously, also strategy, I guess, is a big thing, as you said. And also, I mean, in DTM, that's what makes it so exciting, but also so nerve-wracking for you guys, because anything is possible at any time.
Yep, I mean, definitely everybody prefers to stop a little bit earlier. We saw yesterday that it nearly worked for Marco to stop late and play a little bit of, gamble for the safety car. But to be honest, I think everybody will stop early, and then it's just a race on who can do the best with the cold tires. So, we try to make the best of it, maybe make 1 or 2 positions, and we'll see.
And Oschersleben, is that one of your favorite tracks? I mean, it's a tricky one.
I like it for sure, because I always seem to be quick here, but to be honest, the racing is really tough, and usually I like a track where you have lots of opportunities to overtake. So to drive by myself is one of the favorites, but racing is tough. Yeah.
Best of luck, Jack. Thank you so much. And now here are your commentators.
Thanks very much indeed, Verena. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oschersleben then, as we get set for round 2 of 16 in DTM 2024. Really good qualifying session this morning. Interestingly, warmer in qualifying than it was yesterday, both in terms of air and track temperature, but the times were slower. It was a surprise to a lot of the drivers as the Mexican wave gets going here. As we've heard, fantastic to see so many people here at Oschersleben. I was talking to Oliver Runschke a couple of hours ago, who looks after the marketing for the ADAC, who run the championship. And he said even 4 or 5 days ago, pre-sale tickets were 20% up on last year, and last year was absolutely packed. And he said we've had a lot more sales in just the last couple of days, so it's going to be way, way up on last year's attendance. The ADAC do an awful lot to encourage young fans in particular to come to motorsport events, and he was saying they've sold out the grandstand tickets at the Hassenroder Curve weeks ago, so they took the decision to build another grandstand there, and that sold out as well. So fantastic to see this event so well supported here in the sunshine. There's your man then starting on pole position, and we can go back down to Verena on the grid.
mal, ich gehe mal in die Mitte, mache ich eine Frage. And now we've got Christian Engelhardt here with us. You won here last year in Oschersleben. Today starting from P15, so it's going to be a tricky race. How tough is it in the middle of the field?
Yeah, obviously overtaking is really difficult on this track, so it's going to be a tough race, but I think I have a good car, great team behind me. Looking forward to make up some positions and yeah, hopefully score good points.
Best of luck. I know you want to get into the car. Best of luck for the race, and hopefully you've brought somebody with you who's going to give some luck to him. Papa's Love Day. I mean, wow! Yesterday already you looked spectacular, an international model, and you're turning the raceway into a catwalk. You really do. How are you enjoying yourself here at the DTM?
I'm enjoying my first time ever in DTM here, and I'm the cheerleader for Christian in TGI and for Lamborghini, and I'm wishing him so much luck because he didn't start very well today, and it's going to be kind of difficult, but I think I give him so much energy, and I hope he's going to win today.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult from P15, but hopefully he will do his best, that's for sure. Yesterday we saw you in some sort of glitter from out of space. Today you're almost very dressed for your the way we know you.
You know what day was yesterday? Saturday. Saturday is Saturday night life fever, you know, party, glamorous, and Sunday, you know, is a chilly, cozy, fun day.
And what do you say about motorsports, about the DTM? Are you enjoying yourself?
I have to say, I always go to Formula One, but this time here is very different. People are so chilly, so cozy, and I love the atmosphere. I really enjoy it. Nice atmosphere, nice people, and the driver, they're very like social, talking to people and everybody.
Exactly, that is exactly the difference between Formula One, DTM. That's why we love it here so much. It feels like family.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're part of it.
Yeah, really. It's just what I wanted to say. It feels like really family. They all like down to earth, not like I'm a driver, so I'm very important. And yesterday I had the chance to drive. It was a taxi, and I felt like okay, this is not a job for me because they're very good for what they're doing, not for me.
That's why you look good and you're fantastic. Thank you so much. Wonderful having you here. And now, of course, we're all looking forward to this race. It's going to be spectacular. And do enjoy it. Hear the commentators and hold on tight.
I can't believe Papa's Love Day is wearing the same outfit I'm wearing today. I really wish he'd give me a call. We're going to clash now. Great to hear from Papis, looking tremendous there on the grid, and very complimentary about the atmos in the paddock with the drivers. There's Luca Engstler getting his best ever qualifying performance earlier on. His previous best was 11th in qualifying, and he's 4th on the grid at the start of his second season. He's a TCR touring car champion. Not just in one country, but 3 areas, in Germany, in Malaysia, in the Asian Championship as well. Started his DTM journey last season as an Audi driver with the family-run team, and now with the Grasser Racing team. He's here in his Lamborghini, and tremendous job by him. 4th on the grid. He was actually deemed to have been blocked on one of his laps by Ayhan Nguyen, so Ayhan was given a 3-place grid penalty. He wasn't very far up the grid anyway, so I'm afraid the Turkish driver is going to be starting stone last for the race to come. So the grid starting to be cleared now. The race getting underway in a few minutes' time, with Mirko Bortolotti having set the fastest time in qualifying by just 70 thousandths of a second from Luca Stolz. Spoke to Luca after qualifying. He really doesn't like this track. He said it's difficult. He said it feels like so brutal inside the car. It feels like cars falling apart because you have to really rattle over the curbs here. He said a lot of us find it difficult around here. But he's going really well around here and qualified second, Lucas Stolz. He's ultra relaxed this weekend. He's always very laid back anyway, but he's just been hanging around in the paddock, chatting with his mechanics. Looks very cool, calm and collected. I did say to him, it might become your favourite racetrack if you win, and he just smiled and shook his head. He said, no, it won't. I still don't like it. But he might do it. He's got a good chance in the Mercedes. The Mercedes, the Porsches and the McLarens have all had a reduction in BOP success ballast, or BOP ballast. They're 15 kilograms lighter than they were for the race yesterday. And remember, the top 3 from yesterday carry success ballast in this race, with Jack Aitken having 20 kilograms on board, Mirko Bortolotti and Ricardo Feller too. So news through that we've got 42,000 spectators here and this huge crowd here at Oschersleben. It's just over 23 degrees, the air temperature. There's a nice breeze as well. It's my kind of perfect day. It's not too hot, nice and warm, perfect for fans. It's going to be hot in the cars, though, for the drivers. Add 30 degrees to the ambient temperature, and they are looking at close to 60 degrees inside the cockpits of these cars for what's going to be a 60-minute plus 1 lap race. In terms of points after yesterday and qualifying this morning, Jack Aitken, 29 points, leads the championship. Got a point for qualifying in third this morning. Mirko Bortolotti, 25 points, not far behind him, though. There is the grid then. Mirko Bortolotti and Luca Stoltz on the front row. Jack Aitken, yesterday's winner, and Luca Engstler with his best ever grid on row 2. Arjun Maini is flying this weekend. He starts 5th. Nicky Tim starting in 6th place, hoping for his first finish of the season. Ricardo Feller and Maximilian Powell weren't far off the pace. They're on the 4th row of the grid. More good stuff from Thierry Vermeulen. A much better qualifying from Maro Engel. Today's in the top 10. Clement Schmidt got the first ever DTM point for Der Motorsport yesterday. He's alongside Kelvin van der Linde. Lucas Auer, though, and Sheldon van der Linde way down the grid compared to yesterday. You heard from Christian Engelhardt, who won here at a Porsche last year. He's 15th. Three-time champion Rennie Rast, he's just alongside him. Then you got Thomas Preining and Marco Wittmann, 2 other champions, way down the grid. Ben Durr, 19th, and with that 3-place grid penalty, Ayanjan Nguyen starting in 20th position. Jack Aitken, as I say, with 20 kilograms of success ballast, having won the race yesterday. Mirko Bortolotti with 10 kilograms of success ballast, and Ricardo Feller with 5 because he finished third. So we're all set to go in a few minutes' time. My name's Chris Hartley. I'm here in the commentary box, and alongside me, it's good afternoon once again to Brian Oliver.
Good afternoon, Chris Hartley. What an exciting afternoon we have ahead of us. 42,000 people are about to be entertained by a grid where the top 18 are separated by less than a second. This is going to be close, a little bit mixed up. There's some interesting names towards the back, and they're going to want to come through. I think pit stops are going to play a major part in this. Pit strategy and an efficient performance pit stop, that's going to be critical in this race. Really excited to see Luca Engstler, in my opinion, one of the best looking cars ever, towards the front of the grid, 4th to be precise. Jack Aitken alongside him, the British driver. He won yesterday. Can he make it 2 out of 2? It's a tough ask, isn't it? It's
going to be tougher, but if he can walk away from the weekend with a win and a podium, I think he'd be more than happy with that. Lucas Stoltz is out for his 3rd DTM victory. He's had 2 full seasons in DTM so far. He actually made his debut as a guest driver at the Nürburgring in 2021, but his first full season was 2022. Finished 6th in the championship, did the same last year, 6th in the championship. He is always a factor. Mirko Bortolotti, of course, has come close to the championship, particularly last year. He was the runner-up. He was in the running for much of 2022 as well, ended up finishing 4th that season. Great to have Mirko back on the grid. He was really pleased with his 2nd place finish yesterday, and of course delighted to get pole position this morning, even though the times were slower. It surprised a few drivers, as I said. 4/10 slower was the qualifying time today for pole position than it was yesterday. So it's given them a bit of food for thought, Brian, in terms of how they set the cars up and the tyres up for this race, because it's even hotter now than it was a few hours ago for qualifying.
Yes, and the racetrack, it is a living, breathing, evolving creature, and it changes as the weekend progresses. Since the last DTM race, we've had GT Masters, we've had GT4, we've had Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany. A different rubber laid down, the weather plays its parts. This instruction has been given by Karl-Heinz Riedl to start your engines. We are so excited for race 2 of the season.
Yeah, great to see Karl-Heinz Riedl here. He's a guest of the AB Sportsline team. He holds aloft the Start Your Engines board, a World Cup winner in the Italia 1990 World Cup. England fans will know all about his presence, the striker from the semi-final exit. He also played for some great teams across Europe, Dortmund and Liverpool, and was a manager at Fulham as well. So he's one of the guest stars here this weekend. The grid cleared then, ready to go on the formation lap. And then it'll be the rolling start into 60 minutes plus 1 lap of racing, a mandatory pit stop for tyre changes only in the middle portion of the race between the 20th and 40th minute. A reminder that the new rule for this year is that if during a safety car phase there is a full course yellow or a safety car, your pit stop won't count as your mandatory pit stop. And they can extend the distance depending on how things are going on the track with any recoveries of the pit window. That happened yesterday. just ask Marco Wittmann about that, because he and the team, Schubert, darted for the pits just in time before the full course yellow happened, and he gained a huge advantage as a result of that. Having started 19th on the grid, he found himself leading the race. And I'm sure, no doubt, if you didn't watch the race yesterday, you will have heard the heartbreak that he suffered, because having not won a DTM race since 2022, he was on course for victory. Jack Aitken was starting to reel him in, Jack having dominated really the race up until the reaction from Schubert for the pit stops. But then, heartbreakingly, 4.5 minutes left on the clock, a fuel issue, and the BMW of Marco Wittmann ground to a halt. Absolutely gutting for him. And today, hasn't gone much better so far. He was 19th on the grid yesterday. He's towards the back of the grid. We qualified 19th. He's been put up to 18th after Gouen's penalty. But a long, hard day ahead, you suspect, for the BMWs. And all the BMWs have struggled in qualifying today, because we had Sheldon van der Linde knocking on the door of the podium yesterday, but he's not even in the top half of the grid for this one, and he's the best of the 3 BMWs.
Yes, and of course this is Schubert Motorsport's home race. They've got lots of guests here, a lot of their garages around. When you circulate on the roads in the area, you see Schubert Motors everywhere. They would love to perform well here today, but a lot of work to do from the 7th row for Sheldon van der Linde. Confirmation
of the points, as I mentioned, after qualifying with Emil Frey leading the team standings on 33 points. SSR after the 3 points for pole this morning for Mirko Bortolotti is second on 26, and Schubert third on 22. Ferrari lead the manufacturer's standings on 34 points from Lamborghini on 29, 22 apiece for BMW and Mercedes. Right, we're about to get the race into full flow. The start is so important here. Overtaking is tricky, but it is not, as we saw yesterday, impossible. The pit stops will be key. We saw 3 teams doing sub-7-second pit stops yesterday, with the Manthey EMA team having the quickest and 3rd quickest pit stops for their drivers, a long way down the order. Right, onboards as well to give you all the action from the driver's eye perspective. That was the one from Riccardo Fella. We've got one on Mirko Bortolotti's car as well on the front row of the grid, indeed on pole position. Round 2 of DTM 2024 about to roar into life then here at Oschersleben, with Mirko Bortolotti on pole position. The red lights come on. They go out, and we are racing at full speed as these rocket ships power towards the first corner. Lukas Stolz is making a good hammer fist of this for the lead of the race, but Mirko Bortolotti fends him off, and then contact between the German driver and Jack Aitken. The Ferrari sent out wide, gets onto the dirty stuff, and Jack Aitken's going to lose 3 or 4 or 5 places here from 3rd on the grid in the Ferrari. Just tried to go through on Lukas Stolz. There was contact, and as soon as he got tapped there, he was on the dirty outside line. There's some contact behind as well. We're going to get a spin. Maximilian Powell is sent off into a spin, I'm afraid. Jack Aitken, I think, was caught up in that as well. He's just gone off shot, and they're stranded in the middle of the track. You can see Sheldon van der Linde. Yes! Oh, no, it was Jack Aitken, and he stopped out on track. All as a knock-on effect, really, from that run he had through turn 2, where he lost all those places, gets sucked into the midfield. Got the engine fired back up, so hopefully Jack can rejoin with not too much damage to the car, but of course he's going to be right at the back of the field, yesterday's race winner. Oh, that tricky turn 2, the hotel turn. We saw Jack Aitken go wide on the outside. He was drifting the back end, and we thought he'd survived it. And then it was round on turn 3 where he finally did a 180 degrees, pointing in the wrong direction. Safety car is out. I think there's a lot of debris. Right rear's gone.
Yeah, the right rear gone on Jack Aitken's car, so he'll come back to the pits. They may well decide to retire that car, but certainly what a contrast after yesterday. Our championship leader is going to be the first retirement of the race. It's going to be a long run. So the leaders are going to be picked up by the safety car on the exit to turn 2 shortly. He's only at turn 5. In fact, he's not even going to get back to the pits. I was just thinking if he can get back to the pits, he'll do well, but he's no way he's going to stay on the lead lap crawling along like that, but I don't think he's even going to get that far. It looks, I'm afraid, like game over. And isn't that just motorsport in a nutshell? One day you're on top of the world, the next day it kicks you right where it hurts and deflates you completely, which is why you've got to make the most when you do have those good days, because they are so hard to come by. There's so many things that can go wrong.
So the championship leader, the race winner from yesterday, out of the race. The incident, as you can see on the graphic, is under investigation. It also involved Sheldon van der Linde and Maximilian Powell, who have dropped to 19th in Maximilian's case and 18th in Sheldon van der Linde's case. This is what it looked like for the fans watching these 550-plus brake horsepower cars, all 20 of them roaring into life. As the GT3s headed in turns 1 and 2. He was all over the curbs as well, wasn't he, Jack Aitken? Trying to get round the outside, and then he really lost ground on the marbles around the outside, lost 3-4 places. And of course, that sucked everybody onto him because his exit speed from turn 2 was much reduced, and they were all on him then into turn 3. That's how it looked like from the rear-facing camera on Mirko Bortolotti's car. And there you can see Jack just zero grip on the outside, losing all that momentum. This is how it looked on board of the British driver. Good start from Lukas Stoltz. It looked for a moment like he might threaten for the lead of the race. Jack's got the inside line here. The door closes. He's squeezed onto the curb. And then this is where it really costs him out on the marbles. Zero grip. He does well to keep the car vaguely under control, but then he's just got no momentum coming out of the corner, so they're all on him. It's about to go wrong for Jack Aitken. Very wrong on the way into turn 3, the left-hander. There's Maximilian Powell to the right, somewhere either just behind him or to the left was Sheldon van der Linde. A case of 3 cars trying to squeeze into one corner. And yeah, of course, Sheldon was right behind that, but I think it was more the Lamborghini, the Ferrari coming together looking at that. Sheldon van der Linde having coming together with one of the McLarens there coming out of turn 2 as well.
I think Lucas Auer's got damage as well from what I can see. It was quite a scrum there going into the corner. Yes, it was Lucas Auer who clipped Jack Aitken. I think he has lost the right front corner of that Mercedes, the yellow Mamba, getting damaged there. Yeah. Max Powell, of course, as well. So that is another car that may well be affected by this. I think actually Sheldon van der Linde looks as though he might have escaped without too much damage. This is the view now from Lucas Auer. Oof, bye-bye front wing. Yeah. And lots of carbon fibre and debris on the track as well.
Yeah, Lucas Auer or Sheldon van der Linde were really involved in that, were they, in terms of triggering it, but they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's why Sheldon got caught out. So Sheldon is part of the incident that's under investigation, but I'd be very surprised if he gets anything for that. Bits of bodywork or hopefully not tyre flying off,
that
but
the front wing.
Yeah,
I think.
the back of the Mercedes of Lucas Auer. It's a bit lighter than it was now.
Yes, yeah, let's weigh them now, shall we? Yes, I think that was the remnants of the front wing departing, and that is Jack Aitken departing his Ferrari. Yeah, he's not signified the X factor. No. He's saying game over for today. It'll be an early flight home for Jack Aitken.
So absolute ecstasy yesterday for Jack Aitken, heartbreak today. While we've got the safety car out, let's catch up with Verena down in the pit lane.
Yeah, what a disaster for Jack Aitken, and now I'm here with Jörg Flach. And Jörg, can you just tell us, I mean, we saw the face of Jack. It looks like that's the end of the race, right?
Yeah, that's the end of the race. We couldn't do anything because that there is a puncture. There was a touch from car 4 from Lukas Stoltz, and it seemed that we got a tire damage, and therefore there was also the consequential incident with Maximilian Powell. And yeah, I'm very sorry for that, but I'm also very sorry for Jack and our team that we cannot continue.
Absolutely. Does it hurt even more after a success like yesterday?
Yeah, okay. I mean, yesterday we did the maximum we could, and today I was hoping we could repeat in a similar way, but it looks like we have to postpone it for the next race then.
All right, Jörg, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Back to you.
Thanks, Verena. So, confirmation.
We can check once. I think they have damage. I think it's not the best.
Lucas Auer worried about damage to his car as well.
Yeah, we can see it. Stay out this lap. We have a look.
Yeah, you can see the tattered remains of his front right corner there. So yeah, confirmation that a puncture, they reckon, was caused by the initial contact between Aitken and Stoltz rather than the second contact with Maximilian Powell, and maybe it already started to deflate at that point, but either way. The end result is the same, I'm afraid, for Jack Aitken and Emil Frey Racing, their driver. One of them is out, because Thierry Vermeulen is still out on track in 8th place. incident between Clement Schmidt and René Rast also under investigation. René is 10th, Clement is in 11th place currently, having picked up 15th yesterday and the first point on their debut for the Dale Motorsport team in that wonderful looking 720 McLaren. Ben Durr still out there as well. Grabbed a chat with him, the youngest driver in the field. Has raced not too much car racing experience, only a couple of years under his belt, having come through the ranks in German karting. Yeah, nice chat with him earlier, and he is saying that it's a big old step up from GT4. He said, I've done some GT3 driving, but it's all been around the Nordschleife, and that is a completely different experience. But he was actually, as we were saying, we were impressed with how close he was to the pace on his debut in free practice on Friday and in qualifying yesterday. And indeed, he was pleased as well. He said, no, I'm fairly satisfied with everything being new for the team, for me, how close we were to the pace of these drivers, because he agreed that the driving level is off the scale, off the charts in this championship. There are some serious pedalers out there.
Yeah, it's a massive step up to take. As we look again, I should think that the team of Lucas Howe will not want to be seeing that too often, and we're about to see the front wing depart, well, most of it anyway. Yes, Ben Durr, I've had the privilege of talking about him racing over the last few years, a very talented young driver. It did feel as though the step from GT4 to DTM might be quite a big one to cope with, but he's dealt with it well. The aerodynamics of the yellow Mamba might be affected slightly. Also, the risk of punctures from all that debris around the front right tyre.
So Mirko Bortolotti, if it ends like this in 51.5 minutes time plus one lap, will be the championship leader. He's only 4 points behind Jack Aitken. He's leading the race. Lucas Stoltz will move up as well to second in the standings. Luca Engstler third, looking for his first podium in DTM. Arjun Maini having a super weekend there in fourth place. Nicky Timmer caught up with him as well after qualifying. They were having a big, long chat about the car. He was good in qualifying in the top 6, but he's not happy with the handling of the car. He says it's a wild beast, this around here, so they're trying to make it a bit more drivable. But he's really looking forward to getting some points. He said, just get some points today, get myself off the mark, and try and lend some support to the team. But he's going well there, the Danish driver in 5th place. Ricardo Feller 6th. Maro Engels made up some places in 7th. Thierry Vermeulen, then Kelvin van der Linde, then René Rast, all in the top 10 as well. Right, the start about to go back up to full speed because the safety car is in. To go into the final corner at turn 14. Mirko Bortolotti controls the pace, no overtaking until you get to the start-finish line. He absolutely floors it, unleashes all of that power in the Lamborghini Hurricane. The green flag waves, and over the line they go. Bortolotti, Stoltz and Engstler. See, they're still weaving to try and generate heat in the tyres because of those slow laps behind the safety car. Single file, no dramas yet, but just looking at Ricardo Feller getting very close to the tail end of the second luminous yellow Lamborghini of SSR Performance. And there, look, we see Clement Schmidt and René Rast resuming their battle, and Clement gets through for 10th place.
That's because he was instructed to by race control. So the instruction was given for René Rast to let Clement Schmidt through as soon as the race started. He's done that without losing any other position, so job done, but he's got to find a way past the McLaren once again.
Indeed so. So that battle coming through, the battle-scarred Mercedes of Lucas Howe next up, looking like a stock car at the moment, with the reigning champion Thomas Preining on his tail. There is Thomas, the Austrian winner of last year's championship, having a tough weekend here so far in the Porsche. He was in 13th place, just damage limitation. But, you know, he's kept this run of point-scoring finishes going. Points in all 16 races last year. Not a great day yesterday, but he's still got in the points, and he's in the top 15 and in the points again today. And that could be a big factor at the end of the season, those days where things don't go well, but you still manage to pick up some points.
You get the feeling that the 22 car in front of him will be struggling for pace, so he'll be quite impatient to get past. You can see Lucas Howe's already dropped back from René Rast just in front of him. So out along the pit straight in towards turn 1, and this might be the moment Thomas Preining tries to make a move on the Mercedes in front of him. The first few cars spaced out at the moment. We've still got 8 3/4 minutes before the pit window opens as we ride on board Ricardo Feller getting up close and personal with Nicky Tim.
I tell you what, Ricardo Feller is the last of the late breakers into turn 1. He throws it in, he's almost sideways into the corner. He's like he's driving a kart in that AB Sportsline Audi there with the Red Bull livery on it. Number 7, Ricardo Feller, the Swiss driver who was 3rd in the championship last year, won the race at Zandvoort, was dazzling on his way from the back of the field to 3rd at the Red Bull Ring, and had a tremendous battle at the Lausitz Ring for the race victory with the man that leads here now, Mirko Bortolotti. But couldn't find a way past him. So he had some star drives last year, And Riccardo, former GT Masters champion, reunited this year with his engineer from that title-winning season in GT Masters in 2021. He's looked rapid here all weekend long, but he's got to try and find a way past the Viking, Nicky Tim. Go hard or go home is the motto that's painted on the right rear wing of his car, Nicky Tim. He's proper rock and roll, isn't he?
He's certainly living by that. Lucas Stoltz was the quickest of anybody in Sector 1, but Mirko Bortolotti has gone purple in Sector 2. So the front two cars, certainly the class of the field at the moment. Sheldon van der Linde's pushing hard all the way back in 16th place. He's got the highest top speed in Sector 2, but he's caught up in the traffic as Riccardo Fellow just pokes his nose to remind Nicky Tim that he's there. A little bit of dust kicked up in the air, not quite a nudge, but he's very, very close in the Abs Sportsline Audi.
Absolutely hanging on to him, isn't he? Right behind you got Maro Engel as well, as keeping an eye just behind, coming down into turn 1, because Thierry Vermeulen and Kelvin van der Linde were side by side. As he went across the start-finish line, Vermeulen actually had his nose in front, but he didn't have the right line for the corner, so he couldn't get the Ferrari past the second Red Bull liveried Ab Sportsline car. So Kelvin remains in 8th place. Thierry Vermeulen 9th, Clement Schmidt still in the top 10, and we can hear team radio now from Nicky Tim.
Not sure what's going on, but car's moving in the train.
Yeah, me neither. I'm sure it was very important, though,
yes.
Whatever he said.
So hacked along towards turn 11, still Nicky Tim. Riccardo Fella, you think it's only a matter of time. It feels as though the Lamborghini in front is struggling for pace. Maro Engel, he's just ready for those two cars to get together so he can jump in. But look who's behind them. Kelvin van der Linde, a man who's been looking impatient this weekend as he's tried to chase the setup in his Audi. He's there as well, ready to jump.
Yeah, looks a bit more racy today, though, doesn't he? But, you know, qualifying, again, wasn't ideal, so trying to thread his way through, blimey. Riccardo Fella and Kelvin van der Linde both showed their nose. The Audi very good under brakes, I would say, on the way to turn 1. No way through yet, though. Audi trying to pass Lamborghini, other Audi trying to pass Mercedes. Here they come, then. This battle for 5th place. Tim, Fella, Engel, Kelvin van der Linde, Thierry Vermeulen and Clement Schmidt. More team radio from Nicky Tim.
Push as long as you can and stay in front of Fella.
Really?
Thanks for the advice, pal. Right, so yeah, I think you probably got that. So stay ahead as long as you can and keep pushing. I'm not sure Nicky Tim knows any other way to drive a racing car other than to completely push it, as he showed us quite a lot during free practice through that very chicane. He was spectacular through there on Friday.
We got a camera in that chicane. If that's still there at the end of the race, I will eat my hat. Anybody who thinks Dirt Motorsport are just making up the numbers, very much mistaken. Clement Schmidt right in there as well. This is a replay of them using the curbs, and there goes one of the bollards. The next one along has a camera in it, so it's going to get messy.
Yeah, Nicky Tim was saying, I still want to try and build a bit more confidence in the car because of the time that he lost yesterday. So he's still getting up to speed with it. If this is Nicky Tim still trying to find his confidence in the car, running in a very credible 5th place, they better watch out later in the season. Doing a very good job. And look at this, though, nose to tail for the lead of the race all of a sudden, because the gaps come right down to almost nothing. Lucas Stoltz takes a wider line through the hotel curve at turn 2. They pick up the acceleration, head up towards around about 200 kilometres an hour before they hit the brakes and drop down to 3rd gear for the left-hander at turn 3. No way through there. But Stoltz is really pushing on here in the Mercedes. The Mercedes, who are all much more competitive around this track than they were last year. It's pretty tight in the battle for 3rd between Luca Exler's Lamborghini and Arjun Maini's Mercedes as well. And then the next pair, as it's become for a little bit at least, is Nicky Tim and Riccardo Fella. They've just dropped a little bit, the rest of them in that train. But I'm sure it will all concertina up once again when they get to the end of the lap. So keep an eye on Lucas Stoltz. He is really pressing and trying to force Mirko Bortolotti into a mistake. But Mirko Bortolotti, when he leads races, don't really see mistakes from him, do you?
No, you don't. There are 3 very clear battles at the front. 1st, 3rd and 5th. And we've got to keep an eye on all of those. This is the one for 5th. Riccardo Fella, who is in 6th place. He's staring at the back of that 5th place. having flashbacks to Lausitzring, where he spent an entire race staring at the back of an SSR Lamborghini. He'll want to get past Nicky Tim as quick as possible, but really hard to do here at Oschersleben. Now, out of 14, along the pit straight. Nicky Tim just weaving slightly. He can't change direction under braking more than once. He moves to the outside into turn 1, has the perfect line, picks up a bit of curb, hustles that Lamborghini around turn 1. Now the tricky hotel turn. Is there a gap on the inside that Ricardo Feller can take? He is almost pushing him up towards Hasseröder, which is turn 3. Switching to the outside, trying to go the long way around, but still he can't make it stick.
He's got to be careful though, hasn't he? Because if he leaves the door open for a split second, Maro Engel will be in like Flynn. So he's got to, if he's going to go for a move, he's got to pull it off cleanly, because if he dithers, if he stays on the wrong line, that gap will open up and the Mercedes will be in it in an instant. Maro Engel been with Mercedes now since 2008. Great partnership they've had. Number 130 on the car to celebrate 30 years of Mercedes in motorsport. And Maro Engel, who had his best season in the DTM so far last year, but I'm sure there's more to come. He finished in the top 10 of the championship. He had a lot of bad luck towards the end of the season. There's the stricken Lucas Auer Mercedes, still holding everybody up. He's still somehow holding the car together, and he's still got behind him the reigning champion. So Auer there in the yellow and green Mercedes, running in 12th place. Preining, Engelhardt, Wittmann, Sheldon van der Linde, and everybody else all in the queue behind him. But Lucas is proving quite difficult to get past.
Yes, in towards turn 1, and you get the feeling that that Mercedes AMG just has the grunt. The time where Thomas Preining wants to be able to duck out and get past, but is able to pull away in a straight line, and then feels like he's holding him up a bit during the windy section of the circuit. But Thomas Preining started to get frustrated, hung up in that 13th place.
I wonder if we might see some early pit stops in this race, because there are a lot of drivers who are stuck in trains. I'm thinking of people like Sheldon van der Linde, maybe Marco Wittmann, that might try something different, either an early pit stop, maybe leave it till very late on as well. But I won't be surprised if as soon as that pit window opens in just over a minute's time, we see quite a few cars darting in as Ricardo Feller gets tempted up the inside once again. You go on board with him now. Look at the speeds as they go through this chicane, 175, 180 kilometres an hour as they rattle the curbs through turns 8 and 9, through 10 onto the back straight. They now go, but no way through that time. He's certainly piling the pressure on here. Look at the McLaren in the mix as well. This is a good effort from Clement Schmidt, 10th place, having had an appendix operation just a few days ago.
Yes, get rid of the appendix. It makes you go quicker. That's the new craze, don't you know? Ricardo Feller still behind Nicky Tim. We are getting close now to the pit window, and we're listening to Ricardo Feller's team radio.
And he should just stop defending me and push. The gap is huge now. Understood. Stay cool, stay cool.
Yeah, he's losing his patience, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a fairly cool customer. Again, maybe Ricardo will think, being held up here, maybe just try something different, maybe come in earlier on. But you don't know what the other team is doing. You dive into the pits early, and then Nicky Tim does exactly the same. You're in the same situation, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the strategy. And of course, we also don't know what tyres they've got on, how new they are. And first to pull the trigger, Sheldon van der Linde. He's been setting purples in terms of top speed, not sector times, but top speed. A number of times during this race, there's a lot of pace in that BMW. Getting him in early, get him out on some open track, in theory, and he can try and move forwards and into the points.
Good pit stops for Schubert yesterday, 4th and 5th best pit stops, but they were for Marco Wittmann and René Rast at just over 7 seconds stationary. That's a good one though, 7.2, a really, really good one is sub 7 seconds, but in the low to mid 7 seconds in terms of stationary time is a good effort. So the local team try something different. I'm not sure that would have been their plan at the start of the race, but having had his situation, having been stuck in that accident and dropped almost to the back of the field, Sheldon stuck in the train, might try something different, right? Nicky Tim comes in, and he's not the only one. Kelvin van der Linde coming in as well, and Thierry Vermeulen. Of course, they were nose to tail also. So a race between the pit crews as 3 of our top 10 come in at the same time. You can see the crews running out with the tyres ready to go now. 4 sets of Pirelli slicks to last for both qualifying sessions and both races. Got to slow the cars down to 60 kilometres an hour, and in they come then with these strict rules about how many personnel can work on the cars as well. So in they come with Nicky Tim, who was running in 5th place, and then Kelvin van der Linde, and then right behind the sole remaining Ferrari, the Emil Frey Racing Ferrari of Thierry Vermeulen.
You know that Ricardo Feller will be out on track, giving it the absolute best to try and open up that gap. He's quickest of anybody in sector 1, and this is a gift as well for him because his main challenger is going to be stuck in the pits. This is disastrous.
Got the hammer on it. Can't get the wheel nut off. This is absolute disaster for SSR Performance and Nicky Tim. So he's still there, still haven't sorted it out. It's still nose to tail between Kelvin van der Linde and Thierry Vermeulen. So van der Linde stays ahead of Vermeulen. They're going to be the first 2 pit stoppers. In the background, you just saw the BMW of Sheldon van der Linde, which is going over the start-finish line now as the 3rd of the pit stoppers. And probably Nicky Tim is going to be stranded in there after what's been a really frustrating weekend, albeit he's shown lots of pace at times this weekend.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to retire the car, doesn't it? They've got the dollies out, pulling it back into the garage. Needs some work done on that wheel nut. The car no longer in the pit lane. What an absolute disaster. And that's unleashed Ricardo Feller. He was quickest of anybody in sector 1 on the subsequent lap, and then a couple of personal bests. So he will be going absolutely flat out in that 5th place. And suddenly the pressure is off for him to have to pit early. But Nicky Tim, another race where he finishes early.
Yeah, 2 retirements. So Thomas Preining coming into the pits as well. So the reigning champion's going to try something different. Gutting for Nicky. He was going so well, wasn't he? Working so hard. Here he is then, Thomas Preining. Now, Manthey EMA, the fastest pit stop yesterday for Anh Nguyen, and the 3rd best pit stop for this man, Thomas Preining. So they are well versed. Pit stops were a bit of their downfall for them early season last year on their return to the DTM, but they have absolutely nailed it so far this weekend. So Thomas crawling out. Leading pit stopper is Kelvin van der Linde. He's at turn 13 at the moment, about to go into the final turn. You'll just see the Audi popping out of that final corner now with Vermeulen behind him, then a bit of a gap back to Sheldon van der Linde. So it should be that Thomas Preining will be in front of them. But of course, Preining's got to get his tyres up to temperature, and yesterday that looked like it was taking at least a lap to do.
Yes, no tyre warmers allowed in DTM, and you can see that because when they hit the accelerator coming out of the pits, it feels like slow motion trying to get going again.
So on our track map that Preining did come out in front of van der Linde, but only just at turn 2, and van der Linde has got past him already, and he's about to lose another place to Thierry Vermeulen. So 3rd of the pit stoppers, Sheldon van der Linde will be on him as well. They're coming out of turn 3. So number 3, Kelvin van der Linde, still the leading pit stopper. As we get more visitors into the pits now, including René Rast from inside the top 10. He's still behind Clemens Schmidt as he's been since the restart. And then you got Anh Nguyen is trying to do something from very last place on the grid in the 2nd Manthey Porsche.
Well, the Schubert team will be wanting to outperform the Der Motorsport team because this could be the chance to get past. But a bit of a nightmare, his main challenger coming in front of him. Anh Nguyen, it's like slow motion as they try and get the grip to get the tyres up to temperature as soon as possible to get them out of the pit box. But Clemens Schmidt is out of his pit box. There is Anh Nguyen to the pit lane, and René Rast is still behind the Der Motorsport McLaren.
The leading pit stoppers just coming onto the start-finish straight. I saw on the track map that Sheldon van der Linde also got past Thomas Preining on the way into turn 11. So to the lefty picture, these are the 4 that have already pitted. Kelvin van der Linde, Thierry Vermeulen, and a bit further back then, Sheldon van der Linde, and Kelvin remains the leading pit stopper as the others get up to temperature. And we can go down to the pit lane now to hear from Farina.
And I'm here with the unlucky man, Nicky Tim. I mean, the tire didn't come off. You must be furious, but I guess that's also part of motorsports.
Yes, one of those weekends, I'd say. Yesterday was my mistake for sure. Today, I don't know, I probably needed to go to church or something before the weekend, but it's unbelievable right now. So, good start. I don't know what happened, but yeah, obviously mechanical, something went wrong, but that's racing. So.
Thank you very much. Yeah, back to you guys.
Yeah, real shame for Nicky, but he's quick and he'll be a factor later in the season. Just not his weekend. Right, while that was happening, you saw a great battle going on between René Rast and Thierry Vermeulen, with the BMW coming out on top side by side with another BMW involved as Sheldon van der Linde gets up the inside of Clemens Schmidt now. So these are the drivers that all have made their pit stops. Kelvin van der Linde, the leading pit stopper, is rapidly pulling away from them. That was tight, wasn't it?
That wasn't tight, that was a stock car move. He gave him a push. René Rast finally ran out of patience. He said, come on, get on the power, I'm coming through. That's exactly what he does. And Clement Schmidt, who's lost 3 places. Oh, our camera's just taken another hit. Is hanging out the bollard.
Now, Arjun Maini has just come out of the pits, and so too Ricardo Feller. They're heading into turn 3. They're the leading pit stoppers. But Kelvin van der Linde's strategy working so far. He's catching them up as they get their tyres up to temperature. Oh, there's contact again. The Mullen is sent around and contact with René Rast. And the Dutch driver spears into the barrier and spears out of the race. The Ferrari is gone. What a terrible day for Emile Frey Racing. Smoke from the back as well.
Yeah, it's on fire. Yeah, we need to get extinguishers down there. That was a big impact with the barrier. Pleased to see Thierry Vermeulen's okay. Utterly fed up, but you get the feeling René Rast had finally run out of patience with the cars around him. Full course yellow. Get the feeling this might turn into a safety car.
That is perfect timing for Arjun Maini, because Arjun is the leading pit stopper. He's just heading towards turn 11. Ricardo Feller is right behind him. They were both being gobbled up by Kelvin van der Linde, who had already got his tyres up to temperature, and I think he was about to pass the pair of them. So Kelvin is in a really strong position here. He's certainly moved himself well up the top 10, particularly now that we've lost one of those top 10 runners, a furious Thierry Vermeulen after that big contact with René Rast, and then an even bigger contact with the Barretts. First and foremost, relief to see that he's okay, because that was a heavy one, wasn't it?
It really was. There's an old English saying that after the Lord Mayor's show comes the dust cart, and this is the dust cart, because Emile Frey Racing, after all the celebrations of yesterday, are now utterly distraught. Both of their cars out. A lot of damage to the number 69 Thierry Vermeulen car. They've extinguished the fire by the looks of things, but you can see the team, well, understandably very fed up.
Yeah, and get a bit stressed about the situation with the fire as well, weren't they? And how
took the time.
But as I say, main thing is that Thierry Vermeulen looks to be okay. Right, another pause in the racing. Full course yellow. Let's go back to Verena.
Once again, I'm here with Jörg Flach, the technical boss. What a disastrous day with Thierry, the big contact. The fire wasn't extinguished right away. Tell me your thoughts, please.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, after the pit stop, some drivers, they were fighting for positions, even with cold tires, and we were even out for more than 2 laps, and now he was pushed out by René Rast, and it's a complete disaster for us like this, because they should let us do our job like we do for the others, and for us it's very bad to lose both cars.
It looked like a big hit with René Rast, but your driver got out of the car. Thierry seems to be right. That's the most important, right?
Yeah, the most important thing is the driver is okay, and so we can, at least on that side, I'm very happy that Thierry is injured and not injured, sorry. And let's hope. I mean, all the damage we can repair, and the rest, we have to see and analyze.
Jörg, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Thanks, Verena. Yeah, just been watching some replays of the incident while we were hearing from Verena. So Thierry Vermeulen got the inside at turn 2, was on the curbs. The Ferrari comes through on René Rast. This is what it looked like from the rear-facing camera. René's then on the curbs on the route to turn 3 next up, and then that was where the impact came as they headed towards turn 3. So look how close they are. This is turn 1. So turn 2, you're about to see midway through this corner, the Ferrari come alongside here. Or maybe not, but he is there. And then there he is, right. And then on the curbs is René Rast. And then the pair of them come together. And spearing across the front of the BMW was the Ferrari, Sheldon van der Linde, who got caught up in the incident with the other Ferrari, Jack Aitken. Almost got caught up in that as well. In the end, he got past the pair of them and gained a couple of positions. But what a story of highs to lows for Emile Frey Racing. That's the key thing, because that was a big old impact with the barrier. I'm really pleased to see Thierry get out of the car and okay, if not emotionally, because he looks very wound up about that. So Bortolotti is out. Remember, you can't have a mandatory pit stop if there's a full course yellow. It doesn't count. Oh dear, he's not very happy as he signals to probably René Rast there, I'm guessing. So Bortolotti is leading the race. Lucas Stoltz second. Christian Engelhardt third. Marco Wittmann, remember him from yesterday, fourth. Ben Durr fifth. Maximilian Powell sixth. They are the drivers that have made their pit stops. Then you got Luca Engstler, the leading pit stopper. Maro Engel, Arjun Maini, third best pit stopper. He's got himself ahead of Ricardo Feller. Kelvin van der Linde is the 5th best pit stopper. He looks like he's gained several positions by coming in early and clearly doing some very good in and out laps. Then you got Lucas Auer, who has come out next. So he's the 6th best pit stopper ahead of Sheldon van der Linde, 7th of the pit stoppers, René Rast, Clement Schmidt and Thomas Preining. But of course, you've still got those to come in and make their pit stops. There's still plenty of time left in the pit window at 11 minutes or so. So I think the full course yellow probably, Brian, will be over before the pit window closes.
Yeah, and in fact, it's going to be more than 11 minutes because it's just been extended by another 3. So about 14 minutes for the drivers to come in for their pit stop, those who haven't already. But yes, Thierry Vermeulen, just looking at that, I mean, he was muscling his way through. He saw an opportunity on the exit of Hotel Turn 2. But we're back to green flag racing now. I'm sure we'll be looking at the videos of that for a long time as we have a replay of Luca Engstler's pit stop.
Must have been a good one, mustn't it? Because he's got out very niftily indeed, leading pit stop because he was running in the top 3 anyway, but that'll look good. Maroengel came in at the same time. Luca's in the background in the Grasser Racing Team run Lamborghini. We qualified in 4th place. Out he goes, stays ahead, and then out goes Maroengel. So they looked, we didn't have the clock on them, but they both look like decent pit stops, and there the 2 of them are. So in terms of the running, they're 7th and 8th, but everybody ahead of them has still got to make a pit stop.
I'd just say that at this point, I know it's been a fairly interrupted race, but the fastest man of the race so far has been Kelvin van der Linde, a 1:23.687. He's in 11th at the moment, but of course the people in front of him, some of them have to stop. But Kelvin van der Linde, he's got a bit of pace today, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's got a very good chance of being in the top 6 once all this settles down. Well, there you go. He's right on the tail of Ricardo Feller, his teammate, and we know how well Ricardo was going. So, yeah, Kelvin, they've obviously worked really hard to get the car to his liking, and finally, last day of the weekend, it seems to be suiting him much better. We know how good a driver Kelvin is. Here we go then, the top 2 come in to make their pit stops. Mirko Bortolotti peels in first. It's further down the pit lane for Luca Stoltz and the HRT team, so in he comes as well. Others in the background, Christian Engelhardt, Marco Wittmann, Ben Durr, all coming in as well. Tyres changed. Fronts and the rears, that's a bit sticky as well. That's not ideal. This could be the difference for a race win. Oh no, this definitely got slow. Same problem, but less so for him than for Nicky Tim, but it's going to cost him the lead of the race, this. Luca Stoltz surely is going to get through. The new stickered tyres go on. Well, that is a very, very slow pit stop. Bortolotti at, what, 37 seconds it says there. Dear, oh dear. He was the first one in. He's the last one to leave, isn't he?
There's going to be a big post-mortem on the hubs, particularly of the rear of that Lamborghini. The same problem for both Mirko Bortolotti and Nicky Tim, and that will drop him out of the lead. Suddenly, Lucas Stoltz, his eyes light up because there is an opportunity here.
Yeah, Lucas Stoltz is effectively the leader of the race now. He's just going into turn 4. Then you've got Arjun Maini, then you've got Ricardo Feller, then Kelvin van der Linde, of those that have made a pit stop. Then it's Christian Engelhardt and Marco Wittmann who's going to be up there and in the mix as well. No, not Lucas Stoltz, because you've already got pit stops having happened for Luca Engstler and Maroengel, haven't you? They're all the way up at turn 13 at the moment. Yes. And Lucas Stoltz is only just coming down the back straight. So
yeah, Luca Engstler.
Luca Engstler.
Where did he come from?
He's going to be the net leader. We've still got Maximilian Powell last to make a pit stop as he did yesterday. Didn't work yesterday. He was unlucky. But it might now. And yet through the start-finish line comes Luca Engstler. And then Maroengel. We saw the pit stops looking good. They've come out way, way ahead. It's all worked out for them with this full course yellow period as well. They've got a massive jump. So that worked perfectly. They timed it perfectly, like Marco Wittmann did yesterday. He's under attack from Lucas Auer. Lucas is under attack from René Rast, and also from Sheldon van der Linde. And Sheldon dives down the inside of both of them on the way into the final corner and gets 2 for the price of 1. Although René Rast is coming back at him in the blue BMW. They're going to be side by side. René's going to have the inside. Their teammates, everybody at Schubert closes their eyes. Please stay on the road, they say, and they do just about give each other enough room. They're all together then, the Schubert BMWs in their home race. But it is, again, it's worked out beautifully for their driver of that green machine, the number 11 car, two-time champion Marco Wittmann, but out wide he goes now, and Sheldon van der Linde comes alongside him on the exit to turn 3, scrambling to try and stay ahead. He's not going to, though, because Sheldon's got the run, and Sheldon van der Linde, the 2022 champion, he's having a stellar race here, gets ahead of both of his teammates in the space of a couple of corners. Oh, Marco goes out wide, and oh, look, then closes the door. I think he's helping out his teammates a bit there, maybe, because René Rast comes through, but he definitely closed the door to stop the Mercedes passing as well, didn't he?
Wonderful stuff. All three of them former champions in the DTM, all three of them running for Schubert Motorsport. It's Sheldon van der Linde who comes out on top, and Marco Wittmann who goes to the back of that particular queue. That is Clement Schmidt under investigation for speeding under a full course yellow, so there could be some bad news incoming. Sorry, that's Christian Engelhardt. There could be some bad news incoming for him for breaking the speed limit under the full course yellow, the 80 kilometers an hour. Thierry Vermeulen has been referred to the stewards for unsporting behaviour. Might have something to do with some hand signals,
yeah.
maybe. So he may well be taking a trip to the stewarding room as well.
Luca Engstler's 18th race in the DTM, second season, start of. Best result so far, 7th at the Nürburgring. Here he is, potentially about to lead the race proper once Maximilian Powell comes in and makes his pit stop. Maro Engel, who looked so strong on Friday, was quickest across both free practice sessions on the Friday, but qualifying was where he said by his own admission he didn't get his first lap right, and then he was about to get it very right on his second lap. The red flags came out, so he ended up near the back of the grid. Today was better, but not great in terms of qualifying, but here he is, Maro Engel, potentially in second place. They're second and third on the road at the moment, but only 24 odd seconds in front of them is Maximilian Powell. That's going to drop him further down the top 10, so they will be first and second, and Lucas Stoltz will become third. Arjun Meining will move up to fourth. Ricardo Feller and Kelvin van der Linde fifth and sixth, and their confirmation of a penalty, I'm afraid, for Christian Engelhardt for speeding under that full course yellow period.
Maro Engel signalling his intent by putting in the fastest lap of the race of anybody on the previous lap. It had been Arjun Meining just prior to that. So the Mercedes looking very quick, but Maro Engel, 123.245, that's quicker than anybody else has gone during this race. So he has definitely laying his stall out, closing in on Luca Engstler, got his eyes on the front of the pack.
Ben Durr is under investigation for speeding under full course yellow conditions as well. Look at this. Poor old Lucas Auer being bullied out by three teammates here, with Wittmann, then Rast, then van der Linde, but van der Linde down the inside of the pair of them. This was a great move. Watch him in the number 31 red and yellow machine. Archie Bargy, he watches it all go on and says, thanks very much. Then the door opens up, gets past one, might as well get past you as well, René, he says. Two for the price of one, and Sheldon van der Linde moves himself up to 9th on the road, but he should be 8th once it all pans out with the final pit stop, the mandatory pit stop to come for the on-track leader at the moment, Maximilian Powell.
I think that is what is known in the trade as opportunistic. Right, first and second, what will be first and second once Max Powell has made his stop. Luca Engstler in the Liquimoli Grasser Racing Lamborghini with the number 130 behind him, with Maro Engel at the wheel. Anybody who thought this race this afternoon was going to be a bit dull, you're very, very much mistaken. It's never dull in the DTM. The second race of the season. It's action from the front to the back, and this is the fight for what will effectively be the lead of the race.
No further action for Ben Durr, so he's not going to get a visit to the pits for a penalty. So these two clearly, and their respective teams, timed it just right for coming into the pits before the full course yellow came out. They didn't gain as much of an advantage as Max Powell comes in. They didn't gain as much of an advantage as Marco Wittmann did yesterday, having gone from, I can't remember exactly where he was running, but he was about 14th or 15th, I think, and then popped up in the lead of the race. And actually, before the safety car then was deployed, popped up about 35 seconds clear. It's not that much of a leap because Luca was, of course, already running in third place, but it was enough to get him ahead of the two that he was following. And Maro Engel has made up several positions to be a net second. Now, if you said to Maro Engel at the start of the race you'll be running in second place, he'd have been very happy about that, but racing drivers are greedy, Brian, and now he is second with the net race leader only just ahead of him, he's going to want to get the win, isn't he?
Yes, there's only one position he wants to finish in as we look at Max Power and the Power Motorsport team going to work on the number 71 Lamborghini. But Mauro Engel, he's suddenly, and there's a problem. Something is wrong. There is a wheel nut on the ground that should be attached to the car, not sat on the ground. And Max Powell is going to have to come back to the pit box. This looks like a disaster.
Can't go backwards down the pit lane. And you know what? I was just looking at the track map. If he got away cleanly, I reckon he'd have popped out in 5th place. He'd have been 5th, and he might have had a couple of places lost. I think he'd have probably had Sheldon, Van der Linde and René Rast on his tail. He might have lost a couple, but he'd have been well up in the top 7 or 8. That, though, has, well, second day running, pit stops have not gone his way for very different reasons. So here are now the first 2. Where's everybody else? Miles and miles and miles away. 20-odd seconds back.
Yes, we're back in Magdeburg, I think. How long are we having to wait? That is a long gap back to Lucas Stoltz in 3rd place. And Argemini's having a strong race, isn't he? But keep an eye on Ricardo Feller and also Kelvin van der Linde in 6th and 7th place. Make that 5th and 6th place now that Max Powell has gone into the pits. Yeah, they've still got some pace, haven't they?
Yeah, although Kelvin's dropped back, hasn't he? Because it's not that many laps ago. He was right on the tail of his teammate, but that gap has opened up now. Unsafe release from the pits under investigation for Max Powell. That's probably least of his worries at the moment because he's out of the race. There's the battered and bruised, what's left of Mercedes of Lucas Auer, but he's a proper street fighter, Lucas. He ain't going to give up whether the car's falling apart or not. So Luca Engstler leads by 0.6 of a second from Mauro Engel. 3rd is Lucas Stoltz. 4th Argemini. 5th Ricardo Feller. 6th Kelvin van der Linde. 7th Sheldon van der Linde. I'll be well pleased about that. Here's a replay of the pit stop. They knew straight away, didn't they, that they hadn't got it on. No, I mean, he hadn't even started to put it on.
No, it's lucky he actually stayed on to get the car as far as it did. You can see the wheel nut's on the ground there. He drops it.
It's dropped off the jacks before it even
goes to pick it up. And, disastrous. Absolutely disastrous. And the Power Motorsport team will learn from that. There is no doubt, but it's going to sting, that one, isn't it?
Absolutely. Any good thing is that they realised straight away and he stopped at the pit lane rather than try to drive the car on track. But real shame. Oh, that's really decent of Max Powell, though. They must be feeling terrible about that. But first thing he does is taps him on the shoulder and says, don't worry about it. But he's off for a bit of peace and quiet now because he's had good pace here this weekend, Max Powell, but he's had 0 luck. Let's get some team radio from your reigning champ.
Starting to lose water.
It's been a bit of an endurance test this weekend, hasn't it, for the reigning champion? Not the start to the defensive title.
Starting to lose water, question.
Oh dear.
Yes, he's losing water. Sliding on his
Car's losing water.
Starting to be quite dangerous. The whole car is broken.
Sounds like it could be heading for retirement, and the end of this huge streak of 17 races in the points for Thomas Preining might be imminent. The car is losing water. He's still staying just about ahead of his teammate there, his teammate in the green Porsche, Jan Guen. Their race laps for Wales and Africa, 5,000 euros raised over 1,200 racing laps. They donate the BWT team and the ADAC €4 for every combined racing lap. And over the last few years, since 2021, they've raised 180,000 euros.
Brilliant.
70,000 last year alone for the Mission Project, which BWT run, providing better water in Gambia and Tanzania, cleaning up the water. So a great initiative which has continued on in 2024.
I think Thomas Preining could use some of that water about now, couldn't he? When that runs out, things are going to get a little bit hot. And he's in the traffic at the moment. And sparks, yes, coming from Lucas Auer's car. It's slowly falling apart, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to continue on much longer. The officials may have a look at it if they deem it's becoming dangerous. But that front splitter is now with nothing to hold it up in terms of an upright. He's now dragging on the floor. Looks spectacular. It ain't quick, though, because that serves a purpose, that splitter, in terms of sucking the air down under the car and providing downforce and sending the air back out through the rear diffuser. So
yeah,
he's done well to be where he is really in the race with that car, hasn't he?
Yeah, and it looks as though there's bits of bodywork actually touching the tyre. It's very close to it, and if it is, that's going to be heating up that tyre as well, so he's going to be struggling.
Yeah, so see the two leaders come through. We can get some more news from the pit lane.
And I'm here with Maximilian Paul. Unfortunately, he had to retire the race after that incident in the pit stop. I guess that's exactly what it shows. If the driver performs, the team doesn't, or vice versa. It's always bad luck. And in this case, it wasn't even your fault, but it's all teamwork, right?
Yeah, it's all teamwork. Everyone is pushing in the team. We had a very hard week in preparation to finish everything, to finish the car. Everyone had sleepless nights, so I'm very proud of the crew, how they did. That we are here where we are, that we did a great job yesterday in the race and in the quali. So mistakes like that can happen. So I don't blame anyone. We just keep pushing and move on for the next race.
Thank you very much, Maximilian, and that's true sportsmanship. Back to you.
Proper team player is Max Pohl, and he understands they win together and they lose together. They've clearly been burning the midnight oil, and I have to say that's a very gracious comment from Max Pohl.
Yeah, absolutely right, because we all make mistakes, don't we? We all make mistakes, racing drivers included, so that was the best thing you could have done there for team cohesion. Thoroughly decent to hear that, despite how utterly gutted he must be with what was looking like it was going to be a good result for him, because as I say, I reckon he'd have been well up in 6th or 7th place once he got his tyres up to temperature. Right, Luca Engstler looking for his first race victory in only his 9th weekend as a GT3 driver in the DTM, and he's looking comfortable. Of course, Grasser Racing team know how to win a race or two in GT3s. Race winners in DTM last year with a driver you just heard from, Maximilian Paul, in wet conditions at the Nürburgring, but plenty of race wins in other categories such as GT Masters, and Luca Engstler doing a fine job. It's a big transition to go from front-wheel drive touring cars to rear-wheel drive GT3 cars. He's mastered it very well, though, hasn't he? And of course, then he's gone in his second season from one type of car, an Audi, to a Lamborghini. He's handled it very well. It seems to suit him.
Yes, 7th place last year was his best, and he would dearly love to elevate to the top. We got some more team raiders. Head down to Lucas Auer.
Actually, something started to fail on my front right. One of it picked up, but I had a very strange movement in there.
Yeah, you can feel that front right having an issue now, so keep us on going, just trying to get some points out of it, which he is. He's in 11th, top 15 score points, but must be a bit of a concern for him. Luca Engstler's just grown the gap a little bit over the last couple of laps to nearly 7/10 of a second. A fraction quicker through the first sector on this lap was Maro Engel, and actually 10th quicker through the second sector, so I mean, lost out for the last couple of laps, only marginally by a couple of tenths. Maro's starting to reel back in the Lamborghini now. Maro Engel 10th on the grid. First ever victory in DTM back in the Class 1 days was in Moscow in 2017 from plumb last on the grid, so he knows a thing or two about charging forwards.
He's a hard racer, is Maro Engel, but he's a fair racer, and you'd expect nothing less from him. He'll try and reel in Luca Engstler and try and make a clean pass on that Lamborghini. He's got to catch him first, though. He's running out of time, 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes, plus a 1 lap to do something about Luca Engstler, who has just been really dialed in. Feels like the step to the Lamborghini Huracan has been exactly what Luca Engstler needed to up his game.
It's a bit ironic this weekend that we've had this rule change about no longer can you make a pit stop during the window if a full course yellow is out and the safety car's out. You can make a pit stop, but it won't count as your mandatory pit stop. They've changed that rule because the worry was that, you know, people could possibly get lucky with the pit stops. You make a pit stop, then the safety car comes out and everybody else gains on you because they can make their pit stop during the safety car. But actually brought the rule in, and twice now in a weekend, despite the rule, people have gained massive advantages through timing their pit stops to perfection.
Maro Engel is still the fastest man of the race, but that was back on lap 23, a 1:23.245. His last time around was a 1:24.024. Of course, the tyres are starting to wear. They've had a fair few laps on them. 9¼ minutes remaining. Luca Engstler now just drawing on everything he's learned during his illustrious career in TCR and in GT3 racing, just keeping it cool, hitting all the apexes. So important that he doesn't outbrake himself, he doesn't do anything stupid, because as long as he can position that Lamborghini on the racing line, it doesn't look as though Maro Engel can do much about it.
We saw Franz Engstler, his dad, looking a bit nervous, a bit edgy, as you were. It's always worse watching your kids than actually doing something yourself, isn't it? Now, Franz Engstler competed in the DTM in the late 1980s and early 1990s for BMW, Opel, Alfa Romeo. He took victory in 2011. Guess where? Oschersleben, that's right. So he knows exactly how to win around here. He knows what his son's got to do. And by Jove, his son is doing it beautifully at the moment. Luca Engstler looks like he belongs at the front of the field. He's got Maro Engel with all these years and years of GT3 experience under his belt, and he's fending him off and doing a great job at the moment. The Lamborghini leads, got the Mercedes second, then a big gap back to Lucas Stoltz, third in also a Mercedes, and Arjun Maini in fourth place, also in a Mercedes. Then the two Audis of Ricardo Feller and Kelvin van der Linde. Kelvin's brother Sheldon, the first of the BMWs, is seventh. René Rast, his teammate, is eighth, and on the screen now, Christian Engelhardt in ninth place, despite his penalty, there he is. And 10th place, Marco Wittmann, after his distraught Saturday here at Oschersleben, with Lucas Auer, Clement Schmidt, Thomas Preining, Jan Guen and Mirko Bortolotti all in the points, because Bortolotti was hoping to win this one and get 25 points. At the moment, he's going to score just a single championship point.
Gosh, that's a bump down to reality, isn't it? And that's a bit of a gift for Jack Aitken at the top of the championship. I think I might have witnessed Luca Engstler winning in TCR here at Oschersleben as well. I have to say, a front-wheel drive Hyundai i30, a little bit different to the Lamborghini Huracan that he's monstering around here at the moment. Luca Engstler, we said it earlier in the weekend, the hardest working man you will ever meet. Let's have a listen to some of his team radio.
7 laps to go, 7 laps to go, mega job, 7 laps to go.
Team just trying to keep him calm.
7 very long laps.
There is France.
Longer for him. Just looking at the points, Jack Aitken's obviously going to score nothing, 29 points. Bortolotti's going to score 1, 26 points he'll move on to. Ricardo Feller started the race on 16. He's going to get 11 for finishing in 5th if he stays where he is. So he will move on to 27 points and be in between them. Then you've got Sheldon van der Linde, started the day 4th in the championship. It's early to be talking about the championship, but 6th place, he'll get 10 points to add to the 13 from yesterday. So he'll be right behind on 23. And then you've got Lucas Stoltz, 16 points today to add to the 13 from yesterday. He'll be on 29. So I reckon it'll be Aitken, 29, leading the championship by dint of having a race win. Lucas Stoltz also on 29 by my maths, but he didn't get a race win, so he'll be second in the championship. Then Bortolotti on 25, Sheldon on 23, and Ricardo Feller on 22. That's quick, rough math, and it's been many, many decades since I did maths at school, but
yeah,
that's
put your
the
shoes and socks on now, you can.
Yeah, put the abacus away,
But yeah, I have to say, Jack Aitken's had a rubbish afternoon, but that's a bit of a gift for him. A get out of jail free card, really. And we're looking at Arjun Maini in 4th place, Lucas Stoltz in 3rd, the last of the podium positions. Arjun Maini, he has been a man reborn in DTM 2024, clearly loving the Oschersleben Motorsport Arena. He's tracking down the car in front of him, the gap about 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, Arjun Maini, who in 2021 got on the podium, first Indian driver to get a DTM podium with a 2nd place finish at the Norris Ring, close to the podium in other races with a 4, but he's had a couple of torrid years in 2022 and 2023, so it's going to be his best result for a long time. That came yesterday, actually, with a good top 10 finish, but 4th place, to be very pleased about that. Was he 1.2 seconds away from Lucas Stoltz, so matching him in terms of sector times as well, for the most part, so he hasn't entirely given up on a podium either, as he tries to push on Lucas Stoltz. They're 3rd and 4th. There's a bit of a gap back now to the Audi of Ricardo Feller, around about 4 seconds, as you can see there. So Arjun still pushing on, 4.5 minutes to go. It's all he can do, really, try and keep the pressure on Lucas Stoltz.
Maro Engel in that 2nd place will be thinking, right, 4 minutes, 20 seconds plus 1 lap. What can I do about that pesky Lamborghini in front of me? He's got a 3.5 tenths gap between him, but he's got to find a route past, and time is running out. What else has Maro Engel got up his sleeve? He's such an experienced racer. But Luca Engstler, so far, not putting a foot wrong. Absolutely on the money. Here it is, first and second. Less than 4 minutes remaining. This one is going to go all the way to the wire.
Right, Maro Engel's got to use all of his experience now to try and apply the pressure to the far less experienced Luca Engstler in these closing stages. Just try and stay on him, try and make him drive that Lamborghini to the absolute limits, and if he drives to the limits, maybe he'll go beyond the limits and make a mistake and leave the door open. So he's just going to keep the pressure on here, even if there's no obvious overtaking opportunity. Maro looking for his third DTM win. He was a winner at Zandvoort last year, and there with that new spectacular livery on the car for Team Winwood, he closes the gap big time on the way into turn 3. Don't look in the mirrors, Luca. It's a monstrous-looking Mercedes breathing down your neck as you head across the line at the end of Sector 1 and make your way into this triple left-hand section before then slowing the car right down for turn 4. There's no way through here, but he could just keep the pressure on that way through the next chicane, through the right-hander at turn 10. And maybe have a think about it down the back straight. Here we go, throwing it over the curves. They're fairly flat curves, but it's still brutal. It must be an uncomfortable ride aboard these cars through that particular section. A little dip down, a little rise up towards the next corner at turn 11. The Lamborghini remains just ahead, and he has not cracked yet under the pressure.
Oh, Luca Engstler, this has got to be one of the most stressful moments of his racing career. About so close to winning his first ever DTM race. He just takes a bit of gravel out of turn 13. He's kept it all clean now out of 14 onto the pit straight. Maro Engel knows he's only got a couple more opportunities to pass him into turn 1. Luca Engstler will be focused so hard in front of him. He'll be listening to every bump and every noise from the car, just wishing for this race to end around the hotel turn. Good corner, well done, Luca Engstler, still holding off Maro Engel. Maro Engel's on the team radio to his team.
3 laps to go, be clever, no risk, no risk. It's really good points at the moment.
They're telling a racing driver not to go for it. Good luck with that. Right, so just second place is good. We're happy with that. Don't take any risks. But, I mean, right, the only way you can ever overtake anybody in a race is always to take a risk. It never comes without one, so they're right to be a little bit worried about it. But Maro Engel, if an opportunity arises, he will take it. The good thing for Luca Engstler, he's so good coming out of the final turn. Yeah. He gets that Lamborghini right on the edge of adhesion, but it does give him about a car length's advantage going onto the back straight. Godfrey Grasser to the left of the picture there, the GRT team boss. Eyes wide. Last time they got a win at the Nürburgring with Maximilian Powell. Went in the garage about 15 minutes after the race had finished. They've got about 54 crates of beer on the go in there. They were celebrating straight away. Could be party time again tonight for the Austrian team if Luca Engstler can hang on to it for 2 more laps, because the clock will run down to 0 on this lap. There'll be 1 more at the end of this. So he is around about 6 kilometres away from an historic DTM victory.
Holding it all together, focused. Every lap needs to be a qualifying lap. Hitting all the apexes, not locking up a brake, not looking in the rearview mirror. Don't be pressured, just keep your eyes in front. Luca Engstler, his palms will be sweaty, his heart will be racing. Maro Engel, has he got anything left up his sleeve? The time is running out. The clock is about to strike 0. It'll be the remainder of this lap, plus that 1 more. Maro Engel once again braking late towards the outside, trying to push the car in front into a mistake. But Luca Engstler, the focus is there. He's holding it all together.
The blonde-haired 24-year-old German from Kempton might just be the coolest man in the paddock. Maybe he's not feeling the pressure. It's just another race, he says to himself. I've won plenty in other categories. Don't think about it too much. Just drive the car and get through the first 2 corners, because that's the big opportunity for Maro Engel, if it is one at all. He's got to get a good run out of this last turn, as he has been doing, to give himself a bit of a buffer. He looks good again. There's the final lap board. 3.6 kilometres to go for victory.
God, Luca Engsler flat out, a perfect exit out of turn 14. Now into turn 1. Looks to me like Maro Engel may have settled for second place. Has he got anything else up his sleeve? He's dropped back. Luca Engsler on the perfect line. The final lap of the race, waiting to get not only his first ever podium, but his first ever win in the DTM.
3 TCR championship titles to his name. He knows how to deal with pressure. He knows how to win races. He knows how to win championships. But this is a whole new level. The DTM is about to belong, today at least, to Luca Engsler. He's got half a lap to go. He's just got to focus on everything that's in front of him. The track, the driving, the braking points. Forget about the Mercedes that's behind. Don't make any mistakes, because half a mistake, Maro Engel will be in. But Maro is running out of time to find a gap. The gaps haven't come because he has been absolutely flawless at the head of the pack. The Grasser Racing team are almost sensing the victory now, but after what happened yesterday to Marco Wittmann, they won't celebrate till that flag has been waved, and that's going to be very soon. 2 corners to go. Luca Engsler gets on the gas. 1 more corner to go. Luca Engsler is about to become a DTM race winner for the first time. Fantastic job. Luca Engsler wins. Oh, look at that. Joy. Wow. Absolute joy in the garage for Gottfried Grasser and the team. Big smiles.
Luca, fuel safe, get the most pickup what you can get, fuel safe. I'm so proud on you, I'm so proud on you.
Brilliant.
Emotions.
Pride. Oh, Ricardo Feller struggling out of the last corner. He's going to lose a place to his teammate. Car's let go. More drama in the race. As one of the championship front runners, he's going to lose 2 more places. Kelvin van der Linde's already gone past, and then he's going to lose more and more places. He's just about going to get to the line now, but not before Sheldon van der Linde, Rennie Rast and Christian Engelhardt come past as well. He's lost 4 places, with the car struggling coming out of the last corner with a technical problem. So Ricardo Feller drops down to 9th place. Marco Wittmann has just crossed the line in 10th. But Luca Engsler, who has looked really good all weekend long, got a good finish yesterday and some good points. Brilliant personal best qualifying earlier on today to be 4th on the grid. Was running in a strong 3rd, and he thought, yeah, podium is on the cards here. And then with the circumstances around the pit stops, the team reacting well to it, gets the lead of the race, has to deal with a lot of pressure from Maro Engel, but he takes the win.
This is a joke. This is a fucking joke.
Sense of humour failure for Ricardo Feller, quite understandably. Apologies for the fruity language. We'll get him to put a euro in the swear pot later on, but you can fully understand the frustration, can't you? Oh, I mean, like 99.9% of the way to the checkered flag, and that happens. Must be absolutely gutted. He got the finish, but 9th instead of 5th place. Good drive from Kelvin van der Linde, by the way. His strategy worked as well, didn't it? 5th place for him. And Sheldon, 14th. To 6th, but really it was last to 6th, wasn't it? Because he got caught up in that incident at the start of the race around Jack Aitken, and it was Stone last at one point. So really good effort from Sheldon this weekend. 4th and 6th, I think he'd be pretty happy with that. I think we're going to see a very emotional Luca Engsler when he gets out of the car. We've already heard from his team and his race engineer, who are massively proud of him. And how about that long-term family partnership they've had with the Liqui Moly brand? They'll all be celebrating. I'm sure I saw Gottfried running off to get the beer out of the lorry straight away.
Get it in the freezer, quick. Look who is in 15th place. Our pole sitter, Mirko Bortolotti, just a single point. The defending champion, Thomas Preining, in 13th place. It has seen the form book turned upside down. Rennie Rast, a solid finish in 7th place. As you already mentioned, Kelvin van der Linde in 3rd place ahead of Sheldon. But some interesting names. The form book just rattled around a bit, but Lucas Stoltz, another points haul for him.
Well done to Lucas Hauer as well for getting that old banger to finish in 11th place. It was falling apart around him, but Lucas never gave up and at least got a finish and some points in 11th. But Luca Engsler has thoroughly soaked up that slowing down lap, hasn't he? He's been, the only people that passed him today have been on the slowing down lap because he's fallen back into the pack. I suspect there's going to be a lot of emotion there.
I think so,
it's
yes.
a huge, huge thing, isn't it, to win in the DTM. And a reminder, He's just 24 years of age. This is only his 9th weekend in the DTM, start of his 2nd season. It's his first weekend with that team. It's his first weekend driving that Lamborghini. Excellent, excellent effort. Here you go, then he makes his way. The other two have already...
Engel's car now, so it's not going anywhere. What a dilemma.
Brilliant at racing. Not so good at parking, Luca Engstler.
No, but it's not his fault. There wasn't a gap there, was there? It's like parking at Tesco's, that is.
Yeah, that's typical, isn't it, for a racing driver to go for a gap that wasn't there.
Ah, very good, yes.
Oh, well, we'll just leave him in there until the Lausitz ring in 4 weeks' time.
I think they're going to have to move one of the other cars, actually, so that
they're not going anywhere.
You
help yourself, mate.
Yeah.
We're out of the car. We're done for the day, say
right.
Luca and Maro.
They've got it moving now, so yes. But a comedy to finish things off.
There
right,
we go.
now we can see the emotion.
About half an hour after he wins the race, Luca Engstler gets out of the car and punches the air. Fantastic.
Such emotion, and you'd think the tension for the second half of that race had been building up. He'd seen Maro Engel in his mirror for that whole time, holding it all together. Now he can finally say, yes, I'm a DTM race winner. Brilliant.
12 winners, 10 different pole sitters last year. We have carried on that trend. 2 races, 2 different winners, 2 qualifying.
Where's our friend, the man who celebrates? You've never seen anyone celebrate, you've seen him.
Absolutely, and there Gottfried Grasser gives his man a hug, and we can go down and get some of the reaction with Verena.
And I've got the winner here who almost didn't get out of the car, but luckily we got him out of the car. He's right behind us. He's just still hugging people. That's his dad, who 30 years ago was in the DTM and didn't get a win. Now 30 years later, his son is in the DTM. Luca Engstler, it's your 2nd season and you got your win. It must be the most emotional race ever.
Yeah, no words, honestly. Yeah, just grateful to be here and yeah, no words.
And there was so much pressure from Maro Engel behind you, but you just did it. It was a perfect race. And I mean, how proud are you?
Yeah, proud on everyone who followed me on this journey. My family, my friends, my team, Grasser. And yeah, just proud and thankful.
And the Engstler team is back in the DTM after so many years. What did your father just say to you?
Well, he said you finally arrived where you deserve to be. And yeah, that's great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is your moment, so do enjoy. And yeah, what an emotional race. Back to you.
He's going to start me off in a minute. Tear in the eye. Really struggling to keep a dry eye there, isn't he? Understandably so. A hugely proud moment. You cannot underestimate the amount of work these guys put into just being here on the grid, to getting to this point in their career and to get to the top of the podium. It is absolute dream come true. He said thanks to everybody for supporting me on this journey. I think the journey might just have begun, Luca. Yeah. There's a lot more to come from you, young man, because that was a terrific performance. He dealt with the pressure that was all around him brilliantly, didn't he?
Yeah, and we alluded to it earlier. He's a hard-working driver and a team member. He runs the GT Masters team on the road to DTM as well. You'll see him out there cleaning the trucks and unloading and loading, just getting involved. He's not someone who just turns up to drive. His dad there, he's the one who set the example. A legend himself, Franz Engstler.
Absolutely, huge, proud moment for him. Both winners at Oschersleben now. I matched you, Dad. I matched you already, he says. Luca Stoltz onto the podium. His last podium was at the Saxon Ring last year, and that's his 9th podium, Luca Stoltz, in the DTM. Maro Engel onto the podium as well. That's his 5th podium in the DTM. And this is this driver's first ever podium. Couldn't be bothered with 2nd or 3rd. He's gone straight to the top step with his first victory being his first podium. Now there'll be some emotion again in a few moments' time when the national anthem plays. First, though, Team Boss has come onto the top step of the podium. Gottfried is delighted. Absolutely fantastic. They're going to collect the team's trophy. Here, then, the national anthem. been doing this job a very long time, and still my absolute favourite thing about it is when somebody gets their first big win or their first big podium, and you see that unleash of emotion and how much it means to them. So a real privilege to see Luca Engstler get his first DTM victory. Dr. Lydia Huskins will present the first of our trophies, and it's the big one. It goes to Luca Engstler. The best trophy he's ever won. And it's not going to be the last one either, Luca. Tremendous performance from him all weekend long. Footballer Torsten Frings is here again to present trophies. This one to Maro Engel. He'll be pretty pleased, I think, with second place from where he started, from how the weekend could have gone. So second place for him. Benjamin Kangisa presents the trophy for third place. He's the local mayor. Oschersleben have done us proud, haven't they, this weekend and this circuit. I mean, tremendous weekend of racing, and Luca Stolz takes his podium trophy for third place. Really good weekend for Luca Stolz as well. Gottfried Grasser receives the team's trophy. All smiles. Party time later on, everybody. Forget about Monday. It's not happening down at GRT.
No, it's going to be partying into the night. It's kind of got shades of when Max Powell did it for them at Nürburgring last year, hasn't it? Brilliant. Let's have a look at the point standings. How close is that?
Championship leader by point, Luca Engstler. Didn't do it, the maths on him, did I? Yeah, he's just one ahead of Aitken and Stolz. Blimey. We had Tim Heinemann in his debut weekend with 2 second-place finishes here last year, walked away with the championship lead. Luca Engstler's done it this time around, but he's done it with a race victory. Best day of his racing career, this. Brilliant stuff from him, and it's nice to see the celebrations and, as always, the honourable sportsmanship coming from Maro Engel and from Luca Stolz as well. They're both going to be major factors in this year's championship. Really good weekend for Luca Stolz as well.
Yeah.
If he can be as quick as this for the rest of the season, he'll be one of the favourites for the championship as well.
Yeah, I have to say all credit to Maro Engel. He didn't do anything dirty, didn't try any little tricks. Good, clean racing. It's what we expect from here and from him. And a good, clean second place. It's been so awful if this has ended in a gravel track.
Luck, didn't he? He seemed to be in the wrong place at the wrong time all the time for the last few weekends of 2023. So great to see him back up there. He had a really disappointing Macau as well in November. He's the king of Macau, but he had a DNF there after winning that GT World Cup race multiple times. So great to see the smile back on his face with that wonderful livery on the.
As you can see, it was a tight 90-degree left-hand turn, but a classic race for race 2 in the DTM.
Yeah, wonderful weekend. Thanks to Brian Oliver from me, Chris Hartley, as well in the commentary box. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. Let's go back to Verena Vrit.
And here's Luca Stolz. We spoke earlier before the race got started. You said you'd smile if you win, but now you tried so hard coming from P2 to P3. Do I still get a big smile?
Yes and no. I always need to breathe a little bit, because I think today we deserved the win. Because in the pits we were better than SSR. I think they did a mistake or they had an issue. But nevertheless, today I think the guy deserved the win. Was a bit unlucky with the full course yellow. But nevertheless, I think today as a team we were on point.
Absolutely. And in regards to Oschersleben, I mean, with all the fans here and all the amazing atmosphere, a weekend you like to remember.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, Oschersleben is probably not my most favorite track, but this weekend was a good weekend.
And now looking forward to the next one, which is in 4 weeks. Lausitzring, one of your favorite tracks?
Yeah, definitely. I love Lausitzring. Also, huge crowd like here in Oschersleben. So glad to have them. And yeah, we go again.
So it can continue like this, and who knows, maybe, second place and a win.
I hope so.
All right. Lucas, thank you so much. And I think it was a fantastic kickoff here in Oschersleben. So much action we saw. We lost a few cars. We had a car on fire. I mean, everything in the book we had. We had a lot of bad luck in the pit stops. Everything was in that book. And I think it was a great way to, write history. Another chapter in the book of DTM. 40 years DTM, and we certainly are looking forward to the next race. As I mentioned, it's 4 weeks, and then we're at the Lausitzring. So see you then, and here are the highlights. Bye-bye.